Hi, today I'm going to introduce you to the mini educator, and this will be a good friend to you, especially when you're wanting to take your dog off leash or places, and you can have this in your pocket and use it for recall mostly, but lots of other things if your dog is barking or if you'd like to use it to keep them off the counter, all these sorts of things. There's lots of different uses for it. But today I'm mostly just going over the function and turning it on and how to keep it charged and things like that. So this is what yours will look like, except for it will have probably a black one unless you'd like a different color. They come in several different colors, and you can look it up on their website and let me know if you want something different and stylish. I like the bright pink one as well. So so the first thing we do is I'll have it set for you with the way that I've taught your dog with it, which is to use these two buttons on the side. And this black button is going to be the dog's working level, and the red button is going to boost it 5 more. So these systems go from 1 to 100, and most dogs work somewhere around a 5. The working level is your how you call the dog back to you, or ask them to sit, or ask them down. If they don't comply, then you would go to the red button to turn it up 5 more. If your dog is running into the street, then that's when you're going to turn this dial up, and it can go to pretty much any number higher, and that will get your dog to kind of stop in place. And it does have kind of a startling effect, and the pressure gets higher, and it's not necessarily painful for them, but it's a stem vibration, which is very much like the vibration that you would get have you ever been to the chiropractor? They put these stem devices on you. I actually have a human one of these here. It's called the Armoron. And it has these little pads, and you put it on there, and it gives you like electrical stimulation so that you can it relaxes your muscles is what it does. And if you turn it up really high, which you can on these as well, it just gets very annoying, and you want to turn it down. So I mean, that's kind of why it works on the dog. It's sort of like you can either whisper to them, or you can kind of shout with it. So that is the methodology behind it. So when you go to turn it on, there is a button on the back that says on and off, and it's this big button, and you'll just press it and hold it, and then you'll see the light number come on in that screen. On. It's on a 0 right now, and this one on the top, this turning sort of button, turns it up and down. And like I said before, we'll figure out what your dog's working level is, and we'll let you know what that is, so that you can use that number mostly. So let's just say it's, I don't know, maybe an 8 or something like that. So with these two buttons, when you press this, it's going to be an 8. When you press the red button, it's going to go up 5 more. So let's see if you can see that. You can see how it goes to like it looks like it's going to 13, I think. So now to turn on the receiver part that goes onto your dog, you'll look for this little red dot there and the little red dot here, and you're going to put those together, and that will turn your receiver on. And the receiver will be flashing this green light if it's charged and ready to go. If it's flashing red, that means it needs to be charged. And the same way to turn it off, you will turn it off and it'll stop flashing. You kiss them together. Now when you want to turn this one off, you're going to go to the back and press the on-off button until the light goes off on this. We'll say off. It's turned off. So I'm going to turn it back on again. Okay, so you will notice that there's the two buttons on this side, and then there's a single one on this side. So on this one, this is just a vibration. You might be able to even hear it. So the vibration is a little stronger than what the stem feels like. It's a good one to use like kind of as an interruption if your dog is jumping up on you, or you want them to calm down at the door, or any of those types of things. You can use that as an interrupter to get the dog just to be like, oh, okay, let's stop. But it doesn't have any level to it. It doesn't go up, it doesn't go down. It's just one straight vibration. So in that way, it doesn't really mean anything else to the dog other than an interruption. We haven't trained them to do anything with that. So then the other part of this is you'll see a little C right here, and it can either say C or M. The C means continuous, the M means momentary. So we use continuous, and we keep it on continuous. I'll have it set up on that. But if you ever see that it has changed to momentary, it's because you've touched this, pushed this button in on the back that says momentary or continuous. And what that does is that when you're doing the pressure, if it's on continuous and you're pressing it, which you'll see the red light go on, it stays on until you take the pressure off your finger on either one of these buttons. So on momentary, though, it will it'll just do one like tap each time you press the button. So I don't use that. If you find a use for it, that's totally fine. But as for the training that we did with your dog, they know the continuous pressure, and you want to use the continuous pressure so that when the dog, you'll say sit, the butt goes down on the dog, the pressure comes off. So it's just the same as the prong collar, which is pressure on, okay, they do what you ask, pressure off. So in the same way, they make a decision as to comply with what you've asked, so that they can take the pressure off. So it helps with them understanding that they have control over that pressure on their neck. So let's see. Oh, the other thing is, if you say you were going camping or something like that, this device is waterproof. If you're at the lake, these were made for sporting dogs, so they could retrieve out of the water. So these are waterproof as long as you keep this little cap right here. It's kind of a rubber cap closed on that when you put it on the dog. So rain or anything like that is fine when you have them outside. It's not going to damage that at all. Same goes, I believe, for this. this is the charging port here too. So if you're camping and you want to keep a light on your dog so you can see them in the distance, depending on if you have a short-haired dog or a long-haired dog, the one over here that is the vibration is also a light. So when you press and hold, wait a second here. All right, well, I'm not really sure why the light is not. Maybe it's just a tap. Nope. Well, you don't want to be buzzing your dog like that for no reason. So we'll figure that out later. So there is a light mechanism. It's a white light. It either stays on or it will like a flashing white light. But that's not really that important. That's just a little extra feature for you if you're gonna be, out in the dark or walking at night or whatever. But anywho, so at night, so if you have these, if you're working with your dog during the day, your thing also comes with a charger. It's the same as your cell phone, somewhat. Just plug it in. It has these two ends that are attached together, and that little rubber area that I showed you before, where it keeps it waterproof. Let's see, wow, getting you to be able to see this. Okay, so there it goes in right there, and the other side of it goes right here. And so you just plug it in, you'll charge it overnight, and it'll be ready to go. This particular unit I've had for several years, like 4 years or something, 4 or 5 years. It still works, still charges. I have sent it into the company to have it a new battery and have it looked at before, but it's very inexpensive to have it serviced. And these also, if you have 2 dogs, they have 2 dog receivers. So you'd have 1 of these and 2 of these, and it works. It's a little bit different, but it's easy to learn. A lot of times, if you have 2 dogs and you're just learning, I usually will have you just go ahead and order 2 of these to start, because I think it's hard to learn I think it's harder to learn the 2 dog system when you're first starting. So it's kind of nice to have the extra controller. These are really nice units, and should you decide later on to get a 2 dog unit, you can always easily sell this on eBay, or some other site, Facebook Marketplace or something, because people would love to buy them used if you want the 2 dog receiver. And I think the 2 dog receiver is, I'd have to look it up, but I think it's around like $300 for one in these 2. So anyhow, so that is your demonstration on how to turn it on, kind of what the buttons mean. Once you get yours, you can just sit down and go through it and turn it on and off with me on this. And of course, if you have any questions, we'll be going over it for your go home session. And yeah, so that's Mini Educator, and it's a pretty cool thing. So all right, we'll see you soon.